Austria, populism defeat. Netherlands, populism defeat. France, populism defeat. Is it all clear?
So first of all, I don't think populism has been defeated, because if populism had been defeated, the mainstream parties would have been in the second round.
Yeah.
I think what you got in France is an anti-establishment outcome, but of a different type. And why? Because a centrist was able to establish himself as an outsider. And that's really important. That is, for me, the major takeaway from France, is that you can be centrist, you can be pro-Europe, and you can be non-mainstream at the same time.
What do you make of the ascendancy of the Conservatives within the United Kingdom? There were dark days for you where you never imagined the voting you would see to the north. You know, Guy, you're better at the map than I am. Am I right that the Tories took Glasgow in this
in the local elections?
Yes.
Well, they didn't take Glasgow, but they won seats in Glasgow, which is...
I'm American. You know, I don't know where Glasgow is on the map, but help me here.
And I'm not a member of a political party, so I don't have a particular view on that. But, I mean, if you just read the opinion polls, you would have to say that it seems clear the Tories are having considerable success so far. I was actually up in Scotland 2 days ago for a very short time, but I felt the mood there was rather different. The complete ascendancy of the Scottish nationalists does no longer feel so established as it would have done a year ago. Things are changing.
Mohamed, can I take you back to Europe? Does Europe have a chance to fix itself now? The UK is out of the way. We are going to be out of the way at some point. We have Mr. Macron, and we have a German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, that's pro-Europe. We'll see how far pro-Europe, or Mr. Schulz. Is this a moment in time when Europe can actually deliver some progress in a way that it hasn't been able to because the Brits are finally out of the way?
So it's an opportunity, once we get through the German election, for France and Germany to play a more active role at the core. I think, in a funny sort of way, over the long term, Britain exiting may be of benefit to the other EU members, because Britain was never interested in the ever closer union.
Yep.
It was interested in a free trade zone, and hopefully it will get some version of that.
Let me do you think the Germans are interested in an ever closer union?
I do. I think quite a few of the core European countries are, and some of the peripheral will.
Yeah.
I think an interesting question in general, if I may redirect to Lord Powell, is the extent to which left parties, which you would think would have thrived in an environment where there's a reaction to non-inclusive growth, are struggling. It's not just about the Labour Party. It's about the Socialist Party in France. It's about the Democrats in the US. Why is that happening? You would have expected left-leaning parties to do better in this non-inclusive growth environment.
Well, I think expectations of what are going to happen are often quite skewed. But I come back to your earlier answer, which I disagree with quite profoundly. I don't think Britain has been the obstacle in Europe. I think Britain has been the main voice for reform in Europe, and the right sort of reform, structural economic reform. And it's a great pity in that sense that we're leaving, because I think we could have achieved more in Europe than they can achieve for themselves. So I certainly don't agree with that. Secondly, although, yes, it is, from the European point of view, good news that Mr. Macron won, I don't think the difficulties of closer union have gone away at all. I don't think the Germans have the slightest intention of going for a common European finance minister or single European budget or Euro bonds or any of that sort, where the rest of Europe gets gaily to spend German hard-earned savings. The Germans would be mad to agree to that. So I think Europe will be as blocked now in future.
And you got a flavour of that maybe yesterday as Mario Draghi faced the Dutch Parliament, who maybe in some ways see eye to eye with what's going on in the Germans.